My first July in Durango, I woke up home alone to the sound of gunshots. I went around the house locking all the doors and returned to bed with a lacrosse stick, hoping to God I wouldn't get caught in the middle of it. It wasn't until days later that I figured out it was nothing more than kids setting off their own fireworks. Needless to say, I was a little embarrassed, but you see, in Phoenix, we didn't have our own fireworks. We had gang fights and drug wars and the occasional blown transformer, but fireworks were too dangerous. I remember jogging in my neighborhood one night in high school and having to hide in a bush a block from my house so the car that kept making laps to follow me would finally move on. The guy that lived next door sold drugs and kept a young woman locked upstairs for God knows what. I remember the one time she got out and tried talking to us. All slurred words and nonsense. We all thought she was crazy, and all our parents had to say was, "Stay away. She's not safe." It wasn't until years later that I finally put it all together. The late night clients, the locks, the drugs. She had made it out the front door, but was too high to ground herself enough to run. We had friends who were held at gunpoints for their wallets, cars that were stolen from driveways, and a hostage situation that took place just a couple miles at our front door. Safe was a 4-letter word we never learned. I grew up going to church every Sunday and living with a Bible in every room, but the only thing holy in our house were the walls, which interceded on our behalf, and the level of alcohol in my father's blood was enough to break the levee of control in his raging fists. I thank God for the nights those walls took the hits and began to build so many of my own that I lost myself in a maze of self-preservation. So that when it finally was safe to come out, I didn't know how. Until I remembered that young woman who froze when she found her way out. The walls were all in her head. The walls are all in my head. And so I'm running my mouth until my feet can catch up, turning on all the lights I've turned off, opening all the doors I have closed, because if you want to be free, you have to be exposed. This stage is my display case. Lace it with whatever explosive words you have. I will light them like fireworks to celebrate my freedom, because you cannot keep me down. Your holy walls will not hide my confession. My voice is writing on the waves as your church bells, because Christ did not come to build a prison. And any house of God with locks of misrepresentation, community does not exist within walls. It can only be built where you tear them down. So we're tearing down your blacklists, erasing every name you've ever 86. We're not inviting them in. We're calling you out, calling all of you to come out of your homemade prison cells. Stop hiding in the cages you've built yourselves, behind the labels you've given yourselves. The walls are all in your head. Don't let them hold you back.